Hi! Today we're making beet muffins. So, at the end of summer, there's a lot of amazing vegetables that are a plethora in our farmer's market. Well, Meg and I, in our garden, in our house garden, we grew beets.
Look at how pretty they are.
And we were like, so how can we get people to eat beets? Most people think they're dirty. Well, they kind of are dirty,
They're
but
grown in the ground, in the dirt.
but they're amazing for us. And so I thought, beets, chocolate, muffins. People put black beans in their muffins. People put
We put zucchini in our muffin.
Yeah,
So
sweet potatoes.
it becomes like a nice red velvety chocolate muffin.
and lots of good chocolate. Because chocolate's
Really
good for us
good.
too.
Yeah, and the beets are good for our blood and everything.
It's all
all
good. First, we're going to cream the butters. So you can use all butter, all coconut oil, but today we're using
All butter. You just mean we can use just like cow butter. You can use alternative butters.
Yeah,
Any of those work.
Any butters. But today we're using a quarter cup of regular butter and a quarter cup of coconut. So play with it and see what works for you, how you like it. And then we're just creaming the butters with, this is a quarter cup of coconut sugar.
Love coconut sugar.
Because we like that.
It's not as sweet too. It's
This is true. And so if you like a muffin a little
lower
sweeter,
glycemic. It's just
go
better
ahead
option.
and use, and this is a half a cup of brown sugar. So if you like things a little sweeter, go ahead and use 3/4 cup of all brown sugar. And then what we're gonna do, put our little, again, if you don't have this mix,
If you don't have a KitchenAid, you can use just hand mixers
this works great.
or your hands.
A whisk, that's good. So we're gonna cream that together.
And scrape down the sides. Make sure you get everything in there.
Yep. And then we're gonna go ahead and add
2 eggs.
2 fresh eggs.
And we like cracking eggs into a little cup before, just to make sure that they're good.
Because we buy our eggs at the farmer's market, and every now and then you'll get a funky egg, so it's better to crack them one at a time.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all nice and creamed, and we're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, I'm gonna have Megan go ahead, and we're going to combine all the flours. And so this is a cup of Pamela's. We like Pamela's because it also has almond flour in it.
But any all-purpose gluten-free flour will work.
And this is a half a cup of coconut flour.
So
Again, and that adds not only the fiber, but the flavor of the coconut, which makes it great. And then this is a teaspoon of, you can just pour it in, teaspoon of the baking powder, and that gives the lift. And then a half a cup of cocoa flour. Cocoa powder, actually.
Cocoa powder. So it can be raw cacao or cocoa.
And people always ask, well, what's the difference? Is one more beneficial than the other?
They both have benefit to them.
They both do. The only difference between a cacao and a cocoa is more processed. They just do one more processing. So we're using today this cacao powder that is actually a superfood. Wow. So
Chocolate's good for you.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a quarter cup of hazelnut milk and all your flours, and we put this on the stir, and Megan's just going to take and add about 2 or 3, probably 3 of those. And we're just going to stir it in. You can add 1 more. Let's do 4 heaping. Good.
The whole thing is you're alternating between the flour and the quarter cup of the hazelnut milk.
And again, you can use
blend
any
it all
kind
up.
of milk. You can even use buttermilk. But again, we do alternatives. So go ahead and add 4 more, Meg.
So it's getting like a cake-like batter.
Which, by the way, this can totally be made into a 9-inch spring pan, and you can make a cake out of it, which is another fun thing to do. Okay.
Or a bread loaf.
And go ahead, you can put that all in there now. Can you get that?
Yeah.
Don't miss out on any chocolate. And once it's mixed, you don't want to over mix this
So you still have
batter.
some stuff over here.
Oh. Okay, well here.
Gotta get it all in.
All right. And then what we're gonna do is add our mashed beets. So let me just show you what I have here. These are just simply mashed beets where we've taken a potato masher and mashed them.
And how you mash them is you boil them in water. You take
A whole
peeled
beet.
beets.
No.
Oh.
A whole beet. Or if they're bigger than this, you want to cut them and quarter them so they all cook the same time. So you scrub them and then you put them in your water and you boil them or simmer, bring to a boil and then simmer for 30 minutes. And look what happens to the skin. It just peels right off. It's pretty awesome.
Lovely. Could you also
So-
get canned beets?
No, you could, but
I'm
these
saying
are
for all
fresh.
options. For people that don't have fresh beets, you can always
They
so you
always,
can always
have
make
beets
this.
in the store. So again, you can just see, it just peels right off. You don't have to fuss or muss with it too much. Just know that whatever you're doing, beets do stain a little bit. They do come off in the wash, but they do stain. So beets, not so hard to make. Boil them, mash them up, and now they're going right into our chocolate muffins here. All right.
And this was how many beets?
This is about 2 medium beets or 4 small beets, but you want to get about a cup of mash. And the good news is whatever you have extra, you can simply throw them in your salad. All right, so we're gonna stir that for a minute, or a second actually, just to stir it up. And then we're gonna add more chocolate. So we have the cacao, and now we're using these dark chocolate morsels.
Yes.
And a cup or 2, or however much you want. So we have chocolate morsels. We're gonna go ahead and add a few of these chocolate chunks in there because we can, and they're really delicious.
They're so good.
And then now we're done. So you can see that the batter is nice and it's moist, it's thick. The beets also add a great moistness to it. So here, I'm gonna move this out of the way and I'm just gonna have you look at this. So you can see the consistency is beautiful and it is kind of like a red velvet. This batter actually will make a dozen muffins, but depending on the size of your muffin tin, it could make only 12. But we found this is a little bit smaller. It's only like about a half a cup of a muffin. It can also make this with a half a cup of muffins of 12, and it'll also fill a
Little
nice
mini one.
little mini muffin tin.
So what I've done is if you don't like using a spray, like a pan spray, we take melted coconut oil and we just kind of coat all of the little tins so that way our muffins don't stick.
And just in case, you want to always do the top. All right, you always want to
Grease the top so
Grease
that
the
way
top.
if they do rise over, they come off easy and they're not going to just be muffin tops. I made some cupcakes the other day that did not come off and it ruined the tops. So
Yeah, and the
over
tops
grease.
are our favorite.
So our oven's been preheating at 350 degrees and we're going to cook these for 20 minutes.
20 minutes or they're check because everyone's oven is different.
Yeah, and altitude.
Yeah.
These have been cooking now for a little over 20 minutes. This was a little bit bigger of a pan. And what you're looking for is to pull, I can find a toothpick.
And it comes clean.
Perfectly
Now remember
clean.
there's chocolate chips in here. So note that
Do
it's
a couple
not,
of them.
Yeah.
If you see some chocolate,
It's the chocolate,
it's
not
the
the
chocolate
actual
chip.
muffin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
perfect.
gonna let this cool for about 10 minutes before we take them out.
All right.
Look at these beautiful beet muffins.
Chocolate beet muffins.
Red velvet chocolate beet muffins.
they're so, oh my goodness. Ooey, gooey yumminess. So for this full recipe, you can go to currygirlskitchen.com. You can visit us on Pinterest and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of it. And
Yep,
comment And comment below after you've made them to see how you like them.
And if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe because we're posting new recipe videos every Wednesday. And that way you'll get all of these delicious recipes like this beet muffin. A great after-school snack, off-to-school snack.
Or for a chocolate
don't
lover.
judge.
For a chocolate lover you want to give a really yummy gift to.
Yeah.
Beet muffins. Chocolate beet muffins.
Oh my God, look at this. It's just falling apart.